Hello and welcome to the show. Spring has sprung. But as animals get ready to have their young, we're hearing more and more stories of teachers straying from their natural habitat. Now, it's normal at this time of year to see a teacher or two looking a little lost or confused in a cafe, gift shop or card shop, but it appears that the coronavirus has made things worse. With the school closures, more teachers than ever have found themselves locked out of school or accidentally gone through a door that's closed behind them. Earlier today, I spoke to teacher rehabilitation expert Troy Casadali to find out more. Thank you for joining us, Troy. How big a problem is this?
I would say it is a very big problem. Normally this time of year, I've had to get maybe one, maybe two teachers out of Wetherspoons. But now I would probably say already we're in the double figures.
So how has the coronavirus made this worse?
And I would say with the closure of pubs and cafes, it has made the problem a lot worse. Teachers wander off into woods and bushes and don't know how to get out.
So if the member of the public was to come across a teacher, what would you recommend they do?
I would say the most important rule is do not approach them. They're already bewildered by not being in their natural habitat, and you don't want to make the problem worse.
Thank you for taking the time to speak to us, Troy.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Before Troy returned to the rehabilitation centre, he gave us a list of things that we can do to make things better for teachers separated from their schools. Make a nest of corduroy or chunky knitwear. The feel of the materials are calming and comforting to teachers. I wore this for a fancy dress party that I once went to. I went as a supply teacher. I put mine in the shade of a camellia, which simulates the dim light of a staff room. Troy's second piece of advice is to leave out teacher food. The most teachery food you can possibly get is quiche, but it's really hard to get hold of and no one really knows what it's made of. So cake or chocolate bars will suffice. Thirdly, and most importantly, leave a cup of coffee. Coffee prevents teachers from becoming too drowsy and unable to find their way home. Experts are divided as to whether to put milk in, as it can lead to bloating, particularly with the older teachers, but always include sugar. Lots and lots and lots of sugar. Now I'm very excited. While we were filming down the road, we were approached by a woman who said that she has actually got a teacher living in her garden. So we're here. Let's take a look.
Well, I first saw him early one morning, just under the bushes over there. I thought he were a estate agent at first, but my Derek looked at markings and said, no, he's a teacher.
Sue has given us special permission to set up a camera in her garden, and we're going to use some of Troy's tips to see if we can coax the teacher out. So it's been about 5 minutes, and oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. I can't believe it's happened so quickly. And there he is. Oh, he's doing his playground duty walk. Look at that swagger. That's typical. So typical. And a little PE jog. Oh, this is wonderful. Such fantastic sight. He's gone straight for the chocolate. Straight for the chocolate, and now he's going to have a cup of coffee. And oh, he's been startled. And off he goes. Look, oh, the speed. What wonderful footage, I'm sure you'll agree. But with time and maybe a bit of luck, that teacher will return safely back to school. Join us next week for another Country Gubbins.